Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah, good. I think we're going to get started. I'm Angela Maddox, and I'm the Artistic Director of PICA, and I am so excited to have you all here at our headquarters. This has always been one of our favorite events here, and it's because it's pretty extraordinary with this opportunity for the Precipice Fund to be able to administer it and be generous and acknowledge the extraordinary artistry and imagination that's happening right here in our region. Tonight's also, in addition to announcing the grantees for the Precipice Fund, it's also about really acknowledging this amazing 2015 year. So it's both an acknowledgement as well as a real celebration of so many people that have engaged with us and participated through our various programs. We really couldn't do it without you, so thank you. I do want to call out that it's been our 20th anniversary, and so many of you who've been with us, you know that this has been a really special moment for reflection about this 20-year legacy of supporting risk-taking endeavors, supporting our local artists, and expanding outwards. And in that vein, I do want to call out that this is a very special year, a program really near and dear to my heart. We launched the Creative Exchange Lab, which is a brand new residency program this year, which brings together local artists with their national and international counterparts. We launched that in spring, and it happens in fall, and it's really part of this larger dedication to ensuring that we're supporting and nurturing our local creativity and artists, and putting these artists in a dialogue that goes global. So thank you so much for being here. I want to turn things over to our visual art curator, Kristen Kennedy, who's going to give a little more context about the Precipice Fund and talk you through the evening. But I really, really appreciate you being here. I hope you stay long into the night and drink with us and eat with us and celebrate. So thank you so much. I'm going to turn things over to Kristen.
Hi everyone. I have a brief tech announcement, which is if you could turn your Wi-Fi off, we're live streaming and all of your bits and things are eating it up for me, so thanks.
Hot bits.
I start this introduction every time in the same way, and I don't think I'll ever tire of it, and I hope you won't either. Because what I'm about to say right now gets to the heart of this situation. When Christy Edmonds founded PICA in 1995, 20 years ago, she defined it as a community using its energy. And I've been obsessed with that phrase ever since, and there's no better vision of that than the Precipice Fund in this room right now. Precipice is a part of the Warhol Foundation's regranting program. And it was founded a decade ago, and it was the brainchild of a dear friend of ours, Courtney Fink, who is the former executive director of Southern Exposure, and it's now spread to about 10 different cities across the United States. PICA has been distributing the Precipice Fund for 3 years, and we were fortunate enough to get early and continued support from Ali Ferlati and the Caligram Fund, which allows us to get even more money directly into the hands of artists. In the last 3 rounds, we've awarded more than 50 grants totaling $255,000. That's just the money that goes directly to some of the people in this room. The beauty of these small grants, which are anywhere between $500 and $5,000, is that they have massive impact. We've seen increased sustainability in artist-run spaces, which are critical to our ecosystem here. We've seen collaboration between grantees and partners here and around the world. We've seen other funders come to bear for some of your projects. We've seen artists helping, teaching, showing, and promoting other artists. And we've presented projects together as the Precipice Fund that address critical community, the housing crisis, racial profiling and police violence in the city, economic and ecological challenges, indigenous survivance, and the expansion of artistic forms. We don't put hard edges or rules on the types of projects we fund, and we haven't put a hard boundary on what Portland is. We follow and fund the energy. And to that end, this year we have projects in the south, in the north, in the west, and way, way east Portland. And for the first time ever, we have projects that have expanded to Astoria and to the Springfield, Eugene area. Last year, the Worrell Hall Foundation asked us to send a grantee to speak to their board, and we sent Patrick Rock from COPS, who is a very good representative, because he's been running an artist space in town, way before the Precipice Fund, out of his own pocket from a meager adjunct salary, scraping together jobs, and really serving other artists. And he was exactly the right person to send and talk about the need in this community. Later on, Roya Amir Soleimani, who administers the Precipice Grant, and I traveled to New York for the first time, meeting with all of the other regional re-grantee representatives to advocate for continued funding for the re-granting program and to talk to Warhol about issues in all of our communities. There are many worthy projects that apply for the Precipice Fund, and applications in need are growing every year. And we're lucky to fund as many projects as we do. When we were sitting at that table, Portland really funds more projects than almost any other re-granting initiative in the country. Each year we invite a diverse panel to vet the applications, and that's no easy task. This year our esteemed panel was Patricia Vasquez Gomez, a former Precipice recipient and a community organizer and socially engaged artist who lives and works between Portland and Mexico City. Sarah Krachesky, the new contemporary art curator at the museum, which we are so happy and lucky to have here now. And she's going to make great strides for that institution. Polly Morris, founder of an early artist space in Milwaukee and the current executive director of the Linden Sculpture Garden in Milwaukee, and the administrator of an important fund for artists there called the Knowles Fellowships. And Deanna Agag, the executive director from the Contemporary in Baltimore, which is a lot like PICA and finds its way through itinerant spaces around the city. They had many tough decisions to make, and in the end, we're so proud of the composite of projects they selected. But we must also acknowledge all of the good work going on in and out of institutions in this city without financial support. What is our responsibility beyond the borders of this grant? It's to attend each other's programming, to support artist spaces and project fundraisers, to lend each other equipment, to lend our time and talent, to assist them in these artists in realizing their ideas, and to ensure their survival and success, whether that's a one-day project or a 10-year organization. We're happy to announce that the Precipice Fund has been funded for another 2 years. And we encourage you to do what you can. We encourage you to do what you can with your energy to meet and match these projects and other projects with your support. I want to thank Angela Maddox, our current artistic leadership, and I also want to thank Victoria Fry, Erin Boberg, and all of the founding board volunteers, artists, and staff of the early years at PICA who believed in Christy Edmonds when she was 28 and starting a grassroots artist-run organization called PICA. I want to thank all of our expanding family of funders, volunteers, and artists and supporters for their continued support. I want to thank Roya Amir Soleimani for her leadership in managing this program, and what she does with the artists all year long is really extraordinary. I want to thank Genevieve Goffman, who's been our Precipice intern for a year, and I've seen other Precipice interns in this room. One of them is a grantee this year, which is exciting. And I want to thank this room for using its energy to make Portland a really incredible, vibrant, experimental art community. And without further ado, I want to introduce Roya Amir Soleimani, who will start announcing the winners.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you everybody who's here tonight. I have a few comments before we begin grantee presentations. Another big thank you to Ali Ferlati and the Caligram Foundation. And of course to the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts, without which this fund would not be possible. Another personal thank you, and you heard her name earlier, to Genevieve Goffman. She really has been working with us on the Precipice Fund this entire year. So I don't know where you are, Genevieve, but I know you're out there. Thank you very, very, very much. Yes, a round of applause. She's done a lot of work. So, as our guidelines state, the Precipice Fund strives to cultivate a culture of grant making that values community over competition. Yes, we want to see money reach artists, but we also want to see artists in Portland and nearby regions develop awareness of each other and recognize a relationship to a bigger thing. to a broader community of experimental, radical, engaged collaborators intent on pushing formal and conceptual boundaries, challenging the art world's status quo, and contributing with feeling and with rigor to our region's critical and creative engagement. We hope these connections are made for applicants and grantees alike, and I want to thank everyone who applied to the Precipice Fund, because it takes time and it takes energy, and we value all of you. So thank you, and some of you are here this evening. As Kristen said, there were many worthy projects, and it was very competitive this year, and we wish we had even more funding, but it's also a very special group that we'll be honoring tonight. So this third round was incredibly competitive. We had over 90 submissions, our most yet, and an inspiring panel you heard about from Kristen. All women came together to make these decisions. And there were 20 projects in total that were awarded funding ranging from $1,700 to $5,000 each, for a total of $75,000 in funding. You heard about our panelists earlier. I want to invite one of our local panelists, Patricia Vasquez Gomez. She's here this evening and is going to make some brief remarks before we move into some other things.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Raya. Well, good night, everybody. And I just want to say that I'm very happy and I feel very honored to be here. It was an amazing experience to be able to look through all these applications and see the diversity and the quality of work that's being generated in Portland. I feel very proud of this community. I feel very proud of what's happening here. And I feel like, as an artist too, I feel very grateful that PICA is here, that PICA is here and it's creating this, because beyond supporting art practices that are experimental, that are innovative, that probably have no place in many other places and or through many other granting processes, they're creating community here, and I definitely feel like I am part of the artist community in Portland, and a big role on that is because of PICA, because of the amazing work they do. It's also like a really powerful, powerful team of females that are living here. And I had the opportunity to sit with 3 other panelists, which were also very amazing women, so that's also something we should be proud of. That we're leading the way here. We are doing something amazing here. So I just want to say that it's really exciting what's happening. And I think that the opportunity that we have as a community of artists to sit all together here and learn from what we are doing, and have the opportunity to share and to talk about it, and try to create a different culture of art making. It's really, really exciting. Yeah, congratulations to everybody.
Thank you so much, Patricia. So before we segue to the guests of honor, a note about tonight's program. So our 20 grant recipients will each be giving brief 2-minute presentations sharing a preview of their funded projects. The projects will be presented in alphabetical order, which is printed in the program that most of you have. And once those are over, we'll wrap with a champagne toast. So you'll be seeing some folks moving around the space with those close to the end of the presentations. We hope you'll join us for that. And immediately following, we'll be transitioning into PICA's Winter Soirée, which of course you are all invited to stay for. It runs from about 8 p.m. to midnight. We'll have cocktails, well, we'll still have cocktails. We'll have tamales, we'll have DJ's Troubled Youth, and hopefully lots of dancing. We invite you to stay, please have a drink, and celebrate a year of art and community with PICA and the Precipice Fund. Before all of this revelry begins and before the presentations, I want to really recognize the people who are going to be coming up in front of you this evening over the next 20 minutes, who would be tirelessly and passionately making their exhibitions, their performances, their spaces, their publications, their events, their programs, their websites, their free schools, their festivals, and their mobile galleries come to life with or without this program. But with it, we hope to ease much of the financial burden. We hope to lend visibility and credibility to under-the-radar projects, to help generate new projects that emphasize collaboration and experimentation, and to connect artists to each other. often for the first time. This year's grantees represent some of the most exciting, independent, experimental, and artistic activity happening in our vicinity. Each of them, in their own way, is wrestling collaboratively with an attentiveness to the complexity of the now through aesthetics, politics, and an imperative community awareness. So, with that, let's hear from them. We're beginning in alphabetical order with Bartender in Residence program at Likewise, Nancy Aileen Pryor and Adam Wiesel.
Okay, so about a year ago, Nancy and I were in the process of buying a 1964 Ford Ranchero from Karen Harding, who's standing back there, who had enough insight to say, I don't think you guys want a car, I think you guys want a space. Why don't you take over my bar instead of buying a car? And so with that, we had 2 weeks to decide what we were going to do with this bar. And we decided, since we were both artists, never had bartended before, that we would create a fully functioning bar and an art space.
And the main way that we support the arts at Likewise is we run a bartender in residence program through which we invite artists and writers, independent publishers, entertainers, time travel enthusiasts to take over the bar. They work as a bartender for 2 or 3 nights a week, and they're in charge during that time of programming the space. They do all the programming. They're in charge of creating conversations between regulars and the public, and they're in charge of creating, installing, and defending site-specific works that are particular to the bar and also particular to their practice, and probably of utmost importance to us is the way that that is going to challenge the artist's individual practice and how that's going to affect their future work.
Yeah, so we're really excited to receive this grant, and just want you all to know that it will support 3 artists in this residency program in 2016.
The main goal, our main goal through Likewise, is to create a fully self-sustaining artist residency where an artist can be paid and work, and you sort of have this imaginary barrier between you and the world, which is the bar, where you have this little bit of power and you can kind of defend your work and basically it's not quite happening yet. So we're not fully supporting an artist, and so we're very, very grateful to the Precipice Fund because it'll enable us to a little more time to try and make this happen.
All right.
35th and Hawthorne in Southeast.
Say it again.
35th and Hawthorne, right beside the Couples Hospital. Up next, Character Plant, the old YMCA Astoria. Anna Weber, Sam Liberto, Joe Bryan.
Taryn Tomasello, Noel Weber have been awarded $5,000.
Hi, I'm Sam Liberto. We're from Astoria, Oregon, and Portland, and our project is called Character Plant. It is a new art space in the old YMCA building, which is on 12th and Exchange in downtown Astoria. And we're working on renovating the building for production space for our sign shop and a fabrication studio, and then adjacent to the building is this really cool old gymnasium that is Character Plant. The name comes from an old building transom above the door that said YMCA Astoria's Character Building Plant.
Yes.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to have a space that is a gallery space for artists and a performance space. And our first show, the Precipice Fund is going to allow us to do 2 things. One is to get the space ready, which involves painting and some repair, and then to hold our first show next summer, which is going to be called Y Stories, and is kind of a chance for us to have a conversation with the community about their experiences growing up and coming to the Y, and then we're going to invite local artists to kind of to make conceptual pieces based on those stories. And there's an exciting part, which is we're going to take those stories and and those art pieces and incorporate them into a publication that's going to be presented here in Portland at Publication Studio. So I want to say thanks to the folks at Publication Studio. Yeah, here's the space. It's 4,000 square feet, is that right? Thanks to PICA, and thank you to Kristen and to Roya for coming out to do an info session in Astoria. I think that's what tipped the scales to get us to apply for the grant. So we hope that you can all come out to see us next summer for our show, or maybe at the publication studio here in Portland. Thank you.
So next up is Cherry and Luce, Eleanor Ford, John Knight, and Kyle Racopiso.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
It's really a delight to be able to be here with so many friendly faces. And first off, just to acknowledge and thank Ali Ferlati, the Caligram Foundation, Andy Warhol, and the Precipice Fund, Roy and Kristen, and all your hard work. I am Eleanor Ford, John Knight, Kyle Racopiso, and together we run a collaborative curatorial project out of a dilapidated garage in Northeast Portland, beautifully pictured here. And through this project, we've really taken turns in interrogating arts making and interrogating institutionalism, what constitutes an institution, and how we deal with notions of precarity and the precarious existence of being in Portland, both as an artist functioning out of a neighborhood, historically black neighborhood in Portland, and understanding the implications of artist steps in these places that are so frequently taken up by project spaces, and historically by project spaces in Portland. We started in May of 2015, and since then have shown artists like Mark Harris out of Cincinnati and London, Paula Wilson out of New Mexico, Ellie Gaw out of New York and everywhere, and Alex Felton, who was previously in Portland and made the amazing leap of running over to New York recently. And we're really excited about this funding, which will really allow us to bring more and more mid-career and more established artists to Portland, to an audience that wouldn't normally have access to them. And we're planning 6 shows in the coming year, the first of which will be the first ever West Coast solo exhibition by, I would say, the 21st century's most prominent monochrome painter, Henry Kodaks. And we're really, really excited to be kicking off the spring with that, and we hope you'll join us, and thank you. And the next recipient is Church of Film 2016 programming with
Hi. I'm Leslie, this is Matthew. We just want to say thank you to PICA for giving us this grant. We're Church of Film. We do a weekly film series every Wednesday since August 2012. We've been showing films at the North Star Ballroom. It's in North Portland in the Mississippi District. We do it for free. We serve the cinephiles of Portland that are underserved and very hungry for something left of the mainstream movie houses. We're left of the left. We're left of the art house theaters. So we really feel like we, fill a wide gap of art. We're bringing art through cinema to Portland. We do it for fun. We do it because we love film. But this grant really helps us do it for a lot longer and do it without complaining. Like you said, it's really, we would do it anyway, but it's the difference of, us complaining the whole way home or just being really happy to get this money. We are really threadbare. We do it every Wednesday at the North Star Ballroom, and the last Wednesday of the month we do it at the Clinton Street Theater now in the Southeast. So we've got 2016 is, you know, I'll leave it to Matthew to tell you a little bit more about the programming.
The programming is impeccably curated by me. Cinema is a vehicle of travel through time and space, so it's amazing for people to be able to see cultures and places that they would never get to see, to experience what people, how they lived, what it meant to be a worker, what it meant to be a woman, what the word revolution meant in a different time and place, what the wallpaper looked like. So I just really love bringing that to other people, and I'm glad that I'm so proud that we got this grant. It's fantastic that we'll be able to do that for another year at least.
At least. We'll do it forever.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have congratulations and celebrations.org, Ellen Lesfrance and Conan Magnuson.
Hi. I'm Ellen Lesfrance. Conan is not here tonight. This is Yoko.
Hey, Yoko.
Probably not helped me too much. But this project started when I had an opportunity to go to archive of the Green Commons Women's Peace Camp in London in January, and I found a lot of archival photographs of activists that were protesting against the conversion of a common space into the holding area of the largest nuclear cruise missile holding site in Europe in the 80s. And so this is a sweater that I found in an archive. It's a woman standing outside of the barbed wire wearing this Labras sweater. And I reknit it, and anyone is asked and invited to check out the sweater via my website, which is congratulations.org, and wear the sweater while they perform this score. And my website is really, really ugly, and so Conan Magnuson, who's a local web builder who's just totally brilliant, is coming on board to help me redesign the website and make it more dynamic and do a better job showcasing these performances that have started since September. The sweater, I'd be wearing it now, but it's in Michigan right now, so the sweater has been checked out over 30 times since September, and I'm hoping that it continues throughout the next year. And now I have funding to send it absolutely anywhere in the world, so I invite you to check it out via the website. It's now ugly, but in a few months it won't be. And hopefully all the images that are compiled of performances will make it into a book with the help of this grant as well. So thank you very, very much. And Cox is next. So Patrick Rock.
Is Patrick here?
Is Patrick Rock here?
I think we'd see him.
Patrick Rock.
I don't think Patrick was able to make it tonight, but this is one of our repeat recipients of this grant. COPS, Conceptual Oregon Performance School, received a grant in 2013. As you heard Kristen mention earlier, Patrick has been running an artist-run space pretty much out of his own pocket for many, many years, well before the Precipice Fund was instated. So now he's been able to fund, this is the second time that we've been able to support his organization of a free school for conceptual performance art practice and study open to anyone in Portland for, I think, a couple of weeks each summer. So a $4,500 Precipice Fund grant will support Patrick and the collaborating artists he brings in to work with to design the curriculum and present this program again. And if you'd like more information, you can go to roxboxfineart.com. I think it's .com. I'm sure you'll find it. Find me after if you can't, because if you're interested in any of this kind of work yourself and cultivating your own sort of practice and skills around conceptual performance and durational art, this is an amazing opportunity and experience, and we're so pleased to be funding it. So, in Patrick's absence, that's my spiel. And next up, we have Ditch Projects, Jack Ryan, Nima Zuckerman, Mike Clay, Sarah McComas, Osama Chin, Chelsea Teach, Mary Morgan, and Justin Lawler for $500.
It's great to follow Patrick and Cobb because we feel a real kinship with Roxbox. We've been, Ditch Project's been operating for 8 years. We've shown 180 artists and maybe over 70 shows. We just took on a show by local artist Bobby Woods and Mark Vera Bioff in Los Angeles. And we love PICA+Precipice for the support. And then we've been doing this out of our own pocket also for 8 years. So this is the first time we've ever asked for help or received it. And maybe we can hear more about Ditch.
I'm Jessie Valla, and yeah, I'd like to say it's an artist-run space funded by us and for artists, so this is amazing. Thank you very much for a project. And yeah, we've showed so many people, amazing painter Imogen. We had a great group show, Slow Burn with Diana Thader, one of my favorites. And I'd also like to say it's very special to have this space in Springfield, Oregon, and Eugene is a little bit not totally off the map, but Springfield sure is, so it's a nice space for artists to come together down there. And please come down and check it out. It's super fun.
I'm Mary Morgan. Thank you so much to Precipice. Yeah. You'll see an excellent exhibition in.
You can play Stump all night.
You can play
Stump.
Highly
recommend it.
Yeah.
It's like coming into Springfield is like visiting a spa. It'll change. You know, it'll feel like you drove halfway across the country. We have exhibition. What do we have there? We have we're festive. We have great shows in an enormous space. Is the picture up?
Yeah,
of our space?
That's the spa.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. It was too much of the spa. There we go. Alright. The Ditch Projects, thank you. And next up, Echo. So, sorry guys.
Hi, hola. So my name is Blanca Stacy Villalobos. We have Elizabeth Leon and Andrea Deyes. So we comprise So we're a part of a queer Latino art collective here in Portland, Oregon. We started in 2013, and and so we're really excited to be here. We want to thank also Precipice Fund and PICA, and also our familias, our comunidades, los amigos, everyone that's helped us in this process and these transitions that we've all undergone together and individually as well. So I want to pass it over to Andrea. Here we are. This is our ICP Guadalupe, the only one that can get vocals right here. And then I'll talk about our intentions with this project, Echo Echo.
Yeah, so Echo Echo is the proper pronunciation of our show. And the idea, basically, for perhaps lack of a better word or not, is to represent. We come from families of immigrant parents, bilingual, queer, Latina, not so well-to-do, so we fall under a lot of the categories of minority, if you will. And one thing that we've all recognized as artists is we don't necessarily see our faces represented in art spaces, at least not in your traditional gallery space. And our intention is to create that not only for ourselves, but for our community as well. And we hope to reach out to communities outside of the Portland proper area into areas that won't necessarily be seeing their own faces represented in these shows. That's basically like the intention of our entire project.
A lot of healing with that as well. So our project at Echo Hecho has 3 phases. The first phase is a podcast that we will be doing. The podcast will serve as a way to explore and to experiment with themes that will later on be represented and explored in a mobile gallery. That's the mobile gallery that will bring to different places, schools, community centers, colleges, and basically everywhere where you don't see a gallery. And the third phase and our final phase is a big show in a gallery called S1.
Yeah,
where we will be an expose of all the conversations that we have had during the year and kind of show what we have done. Echo Hecho for us is very important because it's a way to reach out to a community that it doesn't get heard that much and it doesn't get represented that much. So for us to be able to get this money to do this project, it's not only important for us as artists, but for us as a community. So I just wanted to thank you guys for giving that us, but I also wanted to thank nuestra comunidad, nuestra gente que siempre nos apoya y que siempre está con nosotros. Muchas gracias. Videography, Robert, Tyree, Danielle, Ross, and Justin and Flood.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much to PICA and to the Caligram Foundation and to the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Arts. My name is Robert Tyree, and I am here representing Front, which is a contemporary dance publication. Front was initiated in 2011 by myself, Danielle Ross, Noelle Stiles, and Tawny Holt. All 4 of us are working choreographers and dance artists. And in 2011, and still today, we felt that the representations of contemporary dance in printed media were lacking, and we just wanted to create something to give some page space to the artists that we know and love as a part of our communities. And that's what we've been doing. So we've had 4 editions in the past several years. Perhaps you've seen them around. Those were all designed by Noelle Stiles. And again, Tawny Holt was another one of our members. Noelle and Tawny have transitioned out of the project, and that's why you saw Justin's name on the initial slide. He is our new designer, and Danielle Ross and myself have been with it from the start, and we are carrying the project into our new edition. So this is going to be a publication. The previous editions, if you had seen those are broadsheet newsprint publications in a different color of ink each time. And it's going to look completely different this time. So we've allowed ourselves to drop that format and just completely reinvent what it is that we are proposing. This edition, we already have our contributors lined up, and I'm very excited about all of them. We have contributions from Biba Bell, Jessica Jabaras, Milka Dvorcevic, Taki Yamamoto, Krista Larson, and Sarah Shelton-Mann. If you don't know those names, Biba Bell is based in Detroit, Jessica Jabaras is based out in Seattle, Milka Dvorcevic is based out in LA now, Taki Yamamoto is one of our local heroes, and Krista Larson, also based here in Portland. Sarah Shelton-Mann is an absolute legend of the San Francisco and Bay Area dance communities. And we would invite everyone to come out and join us for the Edition 5 release party and a workshop on January 30th at Flock up at Disjunta. This will be a free event, and Front is always offered free of charge, so if you see it around, please pick one up. And thanks again to PICA and to all of the artists. This is always one of the most inspiring nights of the year for me to see all your amazing projects. So thanks for doing what you do. Next up, Krista Williams and Amanda Leigh Evans.
I'm Amanda, and this is Krista, and we're presenting a new project, The Global Table. And thank you so much to PICA and Precipice Fund for this opportunity. It's really an honor to be a part of such an incredible group of people.
So our project is a series of 4 dinners that are going to take place out in East Portland, and they are going to be planned in collaboration with immigrant groups in East Portland that I have sustained relationship with as a community educator and English teacher in that area. And so each one will be very unique, bringing together the same community over these 4 dinners. And we're not sure what they're going to look like yet, because we're going to plan them together with all the participants that are going to be taking part in it with us.
So we really see our role as artists in this project as more like curators and facilitators and organizers in collaboration with the community chefs that we'll be partnering with, who will be the ones who are designing the programming for each of the dinners and culminating in a final dinner that sort of like brings some of the highlights of each of those projects together. And as a component of the project, each of the dinners will be served on handmade ceramic ware that's created by the participants. The chefs who will be providing some specifications for what they need and want, and then also people who will be joining the dinners and creating the dinners with us.
So for this project, really, it's built out of the belief that when we come together and create and share a meal together, that we are creating a sacred space where we can share our lives with people and recognize that we connect with people who may not look like us and may not seem like they share our same experience on the surface. But when we come together in that place, we can build a lot around the commonalities that we do have while also recognizing our differences. So that last meal that we're having is going to be open to the public, and we invite you guys to come and learn and share with us and build connections during that space. So, thank you.
Homeschool with Manuel Arturo Abreu and Victoria Ann Reyes, and they received $3,800.
Hi, I'm Victoria.
Hi, I'm Manuel.
We're the co-founders of Homeschool.
Homeschool is a free pop-up art school in Portland, Oregon, and our vernacular pedagogy is inspired by the etymology of the word school, from the Greek schole, which means spare time, leisure, idleness, and rest.
So homeschool will happen on Sundays. And every Sunday of the week will have a different component. So the first Sunday of every month, there will be an outside speaker that joins us, either in person or digitally, virtually.
We're really excited. We have artists like Amishi Farah, based out of Melbourne, Jesse Darling, based out of London, Devin Kenny, based out of New York, Taj Bourgeois, based out of Portland, lots of other artists. We're really excited. Some curators and writers as well.
We had our launch on November 27th, and it was at Composition Gallery here in town.
Thank you, Eleanor. Also, you were a participant. We're really excited about that. Here's a photo of Taj Bourgeois' Flaming Hot Cheeto painting being activated by the audience.
Yeah, so we are trying to open up a participatory and welcoming space for artists and people who want to think about art together. So you should come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next up is my rock and roll fantasy: Amber Dawn, Willow Darcy, Pierce Locoto, Chris Anderson, Shane Sanders, Samantha Turret, and Justin Greville.
I'm Amber Dawn, and I just want to say first, like, there's just been so many amazing projects. I really feel grateful that we're getting this funding. So, let's see. This is a film called My Rock and Roll Fantasy, and it's based on Molly 16, who was a feminist, and she lived in Portland, and she took her life in 1995. And she was also my best friend, and we're kind of presenting this in a way to talk about making art from really traumatic experiences. So we're going to be animating these stories that she told in her zines. And one of these stories is called Jen Likes Heroin, and it takes place at the X-Ray Cafe, and I'll go on to Willow.
Hi, I'm Willow Darcy. I'm the animator for My Rock and Roll Fantasy, and I'll be animating Jen Likes Heroin. That's my sketch there, just to give you a sort of a feel for it. It'll be about 5 to 7 minutes long. The Howling Frog and the X-Ray were kind of businesses that cater to musicians, sleazy kids, homeless adults. This story kind of has that edgy feel of the early 90s scene. So I'm really excited to get to tell her story that is just straight out of that zine that she wrote. And right over
I am Shane, and I am doing the music, most of the soundtrack sort of stuff. It'll be really cool because obviously there's a time period when I was 15 or 16, so I get to go back in time for myself, and then also have a lot of fun recreating different, sounds and vibes and that sort of thing, and putting it all together. So that'll be really cool. It's a very nice, from what I've seen so far, it's coming together really well. It's a very interesting story. I encourage everyone to check it out when it's ready to go. So, yeah, thank you. Oh, and next is My Scion Gallery with Taylor Hurley, Catherine Knowlton, and for $1,500.
I'm Catherine Knowlton, this is Taylor Hurley. The funding from this grant for us is going to go towards the development of the first calendar year of our new radical art space, titled MSG, which stands for My Scion Gallery. This gallery is located in the shelf above the dashboard of my Midnight Blue 2006 Scion XV. We invite artists to make visual work that will function within this 6-inch by 16-inch Scion shelf. We have roughly one opening a month where viewers may find us parked with our doors wide open in an empty lot or outside a more commercial spaces opening. At our openings, works are on view for a set time, followed by a private sign-up for individual drives in the Scion with the route pre-selected and mapped out by the featured artist. We are excited about the level of intimacy involved in viewing the shows in MSG. MSG is a miniature gallery, which is a unique genre of work. And the mode of viewing from the passenger seat is a one-on-one viewing experience, highlighting this intimacy. Our programming began last month with Adrian Hare, let's see, there we go, an artist and poet from Texas who has spent time between Portland, Berlin, and London. We were blessed to screen Adrian's video poem titled Memories of Fear, and this is a little screenshot up there from it. While parked on the top floor of the Lloyd Center parking garage, eating Tiny Smokies. We look forward to this month's installation from Gabby Villasenor, opening this Sunday, titled The Body is Transducer, which is brought to life by an active sculpture and a 25-minute sound piece enhanced with live vocals from the back seat. Other upcoming artists include Taryn Tomasello from Portland, Abby Lloyd from New York, Alex Ballum, who now lives in Los Angeles, used to live here in Portland, and Travis Fitzgerald in New York. Since MSG is mobile, we take it wherever we want to. We have plans to take future shows to Seattle, Los Angeles, and hopefully more West Coast cities. We as curators are very aware of the performative act we commit with each MSG show by parking outside of more established galleries and riding the coattails of more traditional framework of art making and art showing. We're really grateful for this grant. It's going to pay for gas. It's going to pay for a website that we are having developed. And we want to invite everybody to come see Gabby's show on Sunday. Next up we have New World Unlimited with Daniel J. Glendinning, Michael Welsh, Sean Joseph, Patrick Carney, and they received $17,000.
Hi, thanks. I'm Daniel. I'm going to sort of give a little bit of background on this project. In 2013, Michael Welsh and Sean Carney and I formed a collaborative group called GWC Investigators, which was an artist-led paranormal research team. We've carried out a few projects sort of under that umbrella, and the sort of latest one is New World Unlimited. New World Unlimited is a publication in physical and PDF form. Was really sort of largely inspired by kind of history of science fiction fanzine culture. And this kind of was born out of this idea of trying to create some sort of platform which we could bring together artists, writers, thinkers, researchers, sort of working within this sort of nebulous areas that we as a collaborative were interested in, including the paranormal, science fiction, the occult, network technologies, and really a sort of place for generating dialogue around these kind of spheres. So far we've done 2 issues in 2015. Issues come out sort of timed with the equinoxes, so there's a northward equinox and a southward equinox issue. That first year, all of our contributors, who were all amazing, contributed for free, sort of pro bono, and just to thank them, Zach Davis, Claire Evans, Alberto Garcia del Castillo, Sydney Kim, T. Nicolai, Rebecca Peel, Robert Smithson, Aaron Schneider, Sarah Hotchkiss, Aurora Tang, Jesse Bransford, Jason Lee Starron, R.R. Griffiths, and an ongoing advice column from Madame Ennui. This grant is going to allow us really, the primary purpose of this was to allow us to pay our contributors, which is really great. And I am so thankful that our past contributors were able to do that without that sort of payment, but I feel like as artists, we're often doing things for free, just because we like to do it. And I'm so excited to be able to offer something in return for our people. We also sort of host release events and readings and performances sort of along with this. This is still from Rebecca Peel's performance that took place at Compliance Division in the spring. So thank you Precipice Fund, thank you PICA, thank you Caligram, and thank you Andy Warhol Foundation. And next up is Peter Combs, Amy Fitzgerald, and Molly Sherman.
Hi, it's so great to hear about everyone's projects. We're really excited and we feel really honored to have received this grant. Our project is exploring notions of home from some of the eldest homeowners in Portland. So we'll be working with 5 of the oldest homeowners in Portland, people over the age of 80 that have been living in their houses for the majority of their lives.
And so we're interested in creating intergenerational exchanges as a way to learn and reflect on complex and socially engaged issues. We'll be pairing 5 of Portland's oldest homeowners with 5 local artists and commissioning the artists to create new image-based works in the form, thank you, of small-scale billboards that are inspired by the experiences of the elders that they're paired with. These billboards will be shown in an exhibition alongside a newspaper that we'll design to document the project. And following the exhibition, they'll be installed in the residents' front lawns in all 5 quadrants of Portland.
We envision that these sites will create new spaces for sharing, learning, and reflecting on the city that we live in. Yeah, so looking at issues around gentrification and just socially charged issues in our changing urban geography by creating a small reprieve where artists are collaborating with elders to create these places to enrich dialogue in the neighborhood and explore notions of identity and home and aging. And next up we have Portland Museum of Modern Art with Libby Warble, Eric Isaacson, and Lily Hudson.
You guys, this is so awesome. I can't say how thankful I am to Precipice, to Caligram, and Andy Warhol. The fact that this is the third year of this funding and that it's going on for 2 more years is just bonkers, and I'm really honored to be among the other 19 grantees this year. I want to go and see all of your projects. They sound amazing. I run the Portland Museum of Modern Art, and I collaborate with Eric Isaacson and Lily Hudson, and many other people. Many of you are in this room right now, so this grant is actually going to support a project that is community motivated and shared responsibility of a lot of people who have a passion in bringing really cool art projects and art shows into Portland. And so I'm really thankful. This funding is going to go really far this year, and it's really saving us. And it's going to help bring out, I'm just going to say some artists that we're going to have this year. We're going to have Raoul Denise, Jason Fritz, Dana Dart McLean, Johanna Jackson, and Kenneth Patchen, among many others. And this is a huge help to bring those artists out here, to pay for our rent, to pay for our paint and lights. And the Precipice is really one of the coolest things happening in Portland, and to be among the recipients is a huge, huge honor. So thank you again. And I'm gonna introduce, we're in North Portland, inside of a record shop, in a basement, and we are interested in kind of challenging ideas around the museum model and exhibition spaces that show contemporary work in an institutional format. But we're just doing it like, party style in a basement. Okay. The next presenters and receivers are by far the longest name of the night. Projection of B format signal set waves and transfer functions into Cathedral Park, featuring Max Schaefer, that's my thing. Max Schneider, Ben Glass, Jesse Meha, Anita Spaeth, Windfirm, and Visible Cloaks. Thanks again.
Hi, I'm Max Schneider, and this is Ben Glass. Thanks to PICA, the Precipice Fund, the Caligram Foundation, and the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Arts, we're very thankful to put on a sound installation sometime in 2016.
Cool. So I have something written down, so I'm really nervous right now. So, with Portland's art scene in constant growth, with new opportunities for showcasing and adding to a larger discourse within and extending beyond the artistic community, we would like to see and hear more sonically driven art. The proposed project is a temporary multi-channel environment to be installed underneath the St. John's Bridge in Cathedral Park.
All of us as sound artists create software that play with psychoacoustic properties of sound. If you've ever heard a sound that seemed to be behind your head, or if there's a faint buzzing sound that seems to get stuck somewhere here and you can't get it out, we'll be playing with those properties of sound, but hopefully in a more enjoyable manner than the ones I just listed. Our main goals of the project Our first stop to have a sound installation that is very large scale and plays with perception, and that also interacts with architecture. We'll have 2 of the speakers in our sound installation, creating corridors of sound throughout the archway of Cathedral Park itself, which is a quite exciting proposition. Another thing that we'll be achieving with this is to create a very relaxed pastoral work. We're not having this incorporated in any sort of gallery or performance space, but rather the entirety of the park for people to relax. It'll be an all-day event with a focus on accessibility of all kinds. Cathedral Park lends itself well to that. And we're really excited to put this on. I think all of us involved have been wanting to have a large outlet like this for some time, and we're just wanting to help explore and further the conversation of sound installation in Portland.
Yeah, so thank you for your time and consideration and your understanding.
Hey everyone, thanks so much. This has been really exciting. Alyssa and I started Pushboard. I think the conversation kept happening over and over again. We were tired of social media with ads and all these things like assaulting us when we're trying to look for the events that we want to go to with other people in between us. So we started Pushboard, and we do it every Monday, and it's a weekly arts and music and whatever's going on kind of beneath the surface of Portland, so people can turn in events every Sunday, and we put it out every week. Alyssa will talk about what this money is going to really do for us.
So far, we've just sent out a Gmail email every Monday. We have over 525 subscribers right now. It's all been just like word of mouth. So I would really like to make some artist postcards to leave in venues and art spaces around town so more people can know about it. We also want to develop an app so that you can always have Pushboard with you on your phone. It will also have like a geolocation, so if you're just like, oh, I happen to be downtown right now, that's weird. What's going on around me that I might be interested in? Because I really like the idea of Pushboard being a way to go to something you might not like have known about from your community on social media. We also I want it to be easier for people to put their events into Pushboard. I would like it to be more community oriented. Right now we curate all the events in there. We do have some really great supporters that send in their events every week. All you have to do is go to pushboardportland.com to put in your event or subscribe to the newsletter. But with this, like a Google or Chrome extension or a Firefox extension, we hope to have just like one click and it will automatically send us a link so we can make sure that your event is in every Pushboard. And so now that we know about all of your events that are happening, we hope that there's some...
Yeah, you have to tell us.
Yeah, you have to tell us so that we can tell everyone.
Yeah, so thank you, Andy Warhol Foundation, Precipice Fund, Ali Ferlati, and the Caligram Fund. We really appreciate it. Up next is the VR Spa by Portland Immersive Media Group. I'm going to do this. Matt Henderson, Gary Tyler, Sienna Musgrave, Scott Mayoral, Dave Mercier, Michelle McKay, David Hidiatsky, oh, I did it wrong, I'm sorry, and Michael Green.
Hello everyone, I'm Matt Henderson. This is the Portland Immersive Media Group, the ambiguously titled collective behind VR Spa. So what is VR Spa? It's basically an excuse for artists to engage with the medium of virtual reality, which sounds very grandiose, and I go back and forth on that. It's all the sort of hype that's about to set in, trying to convince commercial markets of the merit of this new medium. You see all these images of people with, their vision obstructed. It's almost offensive. There's so much happening in the world right now that needs our attention, and yet, we want to clear it all out. you know, and enter fantasy realms. So we appreciate that, but we also, as artists, can't deny that it's the most seductive medium imaginable to like fully engulf your viewer or listener or, you know, any given participant in this experience of an artist's creation. So, I don't know if I said it already, but VR Spa is essentially, well, in concept, it's a pop-up spa presenting a rotating menu of wellness or therapeutic offerings. But basically, it's a loose framework for us to get very experimental with some rather technical equipment, and that's why we're so grateful for this grant funding coming through, because we need souped-up gaming PCs, and we need head-mounted displays, and we need motion capture suits and 3D scanners, and that's not the sort of thing you come by, you know, without this sort of funding. So thanks to Precipice Fund, thanks to all my collaborators, Michelle McKay, Michael Green, Gary Tyler, Video Dave, Dave Mosier, and Damon Tedayetsky. He's one of our theoreticians. He's got a few things to say.
I was just, thanks, PICA, for having us. I was just going to say a few words about immersive media and how it pertains to art and practice and the experience of art, because I think virtual reality right now is really funny. A lot of people haven't really experienced it, but I just wanted to say a few words about kind of how to approach it. I think there's a lot of conceptions about it as kind of an escapist medium, and when you actually have experience with it, that really starts to dissipate. It's not like that. It doesn't do that. I think one way to approach it from the perspective of art is thinking about art as the space between what we can do and what we can perceive. And I think being able to eliminate the context of all the art that we experience and just experiencing art in the context of being a human in the universe is something that this medium starts to enable. I think another point to think about is also this is a continuation of digital media, but it's different in the sense that it takes the digital interface out of the equation, and we're actually using our body as the interface once again. And so I think it deserves an open mind when you're approaching a medium like this, because it's pretty strange, but it tends, the effects it has on us as individuals and as a society, I think, has a lot less to do with bringing us together and more to do with understanding ourselves. And so I think it deserves an open mind. That's all. Thanks a lot.
Graphical artist books, Antonia Pintor, Patricia No.
Thank you. So I'm Antonia Pinter, and this is Patricia No. We're really excited to get this Precipice Fund for women's autobiographical artist books. This is a project that started because we went to Milwaukee, thanks to Sarah Krajewski. So we found this amazing exhibition catalog that was made in 1987 by two women, Pamela Zwelberg and Leslie Federchuk. And it was a book of, at the time, contemporary women's autobiographical artist books, and they made this really extensive exhibition and this incredible spiral-bound book that is a catalog, it's a conversation, it's an artist book. It was really inspiring to see. And so we wanted to make a contemporary version because artist books have been gaining popularity in the last 5-10 years, and I think that we just really wanted to focus on women's autobiographical artist books. It's hard to say. So here is the original one below, and a preliminary draft of our new edition of this book. Our hope for this project is that it will take on a published bibliography form of an edition of 500. There will also be an artist talk between local women artists and at least one of the original curators who we will fly out, and a public reading room, library, exhibition. And our hope for this project is that it extends the narrative of women's autobiographical artist books, and we're really thankful for this grant. Thank you. All right, one more round of applause for everybody. Is champagne going around? Is it around? Oh, right, okay. I'm gonna read. Some of us have it. It's making its way. Here, let me get one. So, let's once again toast the grantees, Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts, Ali Ferlati and the Callie Brown Foundation, the Portland Institute for Contemporary Art, and all of Portland's artists. Okay, and that wraps up our formal program for the evening. We hope you'll stay with us. We'll be going until late. We'll have music, we'll have drinks, we'll have more food, good company. Stick around. Thanks, everybody.